everyone. Me and my little family, they're over there. Go say hi. Are in South Lake Tahoe. We are actually in Nevada right now. And we are on the Castle Rock Trail. It's like 2.7 miles. Bit of elevation, but it's not too bad. And I saw some plants that I wanted to point out to you. So let me show you. This is manzanita, just like we have in the front butterfly garden at the school. Let me get closer to it. You can tell because of its distinctive red bark that flakes off pretty well. I won't flake anymore because I don't want to hurt the manzanita, but you can see it's pretty curly right there. But this manzanita is different than the manzanita in our front garden. Take a second to think about how it's different. Okay, I'll tell you. This is a lot smaller. So this manzanita is going to grow low to the ground, whereas the manzanita in our butterfly garden grows a bit taller. The leaves here are also probably going to be waxier. They're going to be a little bit shinier. Let me see if I can climb in and grab some leaves. They're going to have probably a little bit of a waxy sheen to them because we're at such high elevation that the sun is a little bit more intense here than it would be down where we live. So that waxy coat is going to protect the manzanita. I wanted you to see this incredible neon lichen under this rock. That might be the brightest lichen I've ever seen. And I might be wrong about this, but I have a feeling that this is granite rock. Took a geology class once, but I don't remember much, but based on the way the rock is. Also see that as far as the eye can see, it's all these pine trees, right? We're not going to be getting any oak trees or any ash trees like we would have at school. I'm going to be seeing these pine trees because those are the kinds of trees that can survive at elevation. We're at like 7,000-ish feet above sea level elevation, which means that it's going to snow and it gets cold here, and the pine trees stay evergreen and can survive that harsh change in cold to the pretty decent temperatures in the summer. Here we've got a pine tree, obviously. It's got pine needles, very thin, very waxy. Going to protect it from the harsh sun, but also the cold. Now, pine trees reproduce with seeds, just like every other tree and plant, but they do it in a very interesting way. Everyone knows about a pine cone, but now usually, and I don't have examples of it now because of the time of year, but pine cones aren't always open like this. Before, or when they're growing on the trees, they're really tight. They're all these pieces. You couldn't even stick a finger in it. I'm sure you've seen that. And in the fall, that's when you'll see that kind of thing more. But you've got these chunks, these pieces, all holding together. And then when it is time for the seeds to come out, these pop open and actual seeds come out. Now again, I don't see any seeds. If I see some, I'll put them in the video. But this is actually a female pine cone, which seems like crazy. But this is what's going to be holding the seeds. And this is an example of a male pine cone. And this is what's going to be holding the pollen. So pine pollen comes from these little guys. And what'll happen is the pollen comes out of here, will go into the pine cone. It'll fertilize the little seed. It'll create a seed. This will burst open and all the seeds will fall out. So male pine cone and female pine cone. And yes, I am hiking barefoot because I like the feeling of the earth on my feet. Helps me feel connected to the earth. It's good for my body to get the microbes in the soil. It's good for my feet so they can be strong and tough. And I just feel the earth. And I can collect that energy. The tree was burned in a fire, but it's very much still alive. You can see that's black is the charred or is burned. And you can see it lost all its big, thick, you can see how thick that bark is. So from here to here, that's like a good 8 inches of bark. And it lost all that on this one side. Bark is meant to protect the trees. The other cool thing is it's got tons of sap. Sap, another word for sap, is tree resin. And tree resin is kind of like the tree's blood. Helps move food, helps move water through the tree. So a tree's leaves connect by nodes, and a lot of trees don't have this many leaves. Each one of these needles is its own separate leaf. So that's a lot of nodes. I found a really cool stick. All these little polka dots are nodes where the leaves would have connected. Isn't that cool?